Look people, there's no shortcut, okay? You've got to watch the videos to the end. There's no shortcut. People messaging me, I'm busy. Oh, have you got a recommended? I haven't got a recommended anyone unless they're recommended in the videos or on the Facebook groups. Please check the groups. Please ask on the groups if you don't know how to use that search function that's got an empty box with a little magnifying glass. If you can't use that, just ask again. Someone might show you how to use it. It's pretty simple, just search. Anyway, I can't answer all these text messages asking simple questions. It's all in the videos, there's no shortcut. So please keep watching and listening to the end. Thank you. This is looking pretty good and about 2.5 grand cheaper than usual. Hey people, Anthony 4x4 diesel. Just having a quick thought, and I want to share my thoughts with you on injector replacement on the 2013, 14, 15 1KDs. Those vehicles, as long as they haven't been messed with, we know they have full DLC injectors. So if they haven't done the approximately 180,000 Ks is when I'd probably start around 200,000. I'd be, that's where I want to replace. A little bit earlier because of the seats, but the injectors could possibly last well a little bit longer. So if you've only done 90 or 100 or 120, 130, 140, this sort of kilometers, and you're not going to do high kilometers, then there's a good chance you can, if you can get it apart clean and get it all back together, replace the O-rings and the seats and that sort of thing, then you can save about 2.5 grand worth of injectors. So we might even have a little kit that we can put together with all the seals and gaskets and yeah. So what we might do is put together a seal kit that's going to be it's going to be, if you want to do the big job. Look, if you've got it all covered in rust, dirt, dust, sand, and everything like that, it's going to be in all the injector pipes. You're not going to be able to get them out safely and put it back together. But if you've got a pretty clean version of a 1KD that doesn't really go off-road much, perhaps more the Pradas than the Hiluxes because it hasn't got the bug catcher dumping all the dust and dirt on the intercooler and filling it up in there. You know what I mean? It's got that bonnet thing, a little bit different. The front intercooler, stuff like that. So anyway, it would have, look, I can't do complicated kits. It'd have to be a full EGR intake gasket kit, a full injector reseal kit with the seats and O-rings to replace, a map filter, pretty much everything in the injector kit other than the injectors and pipes. And it's probably going to be something like $550, something like that, right? So it's not your normal El Cheapo seal kit. It's the one with all the gaskets and map filter and things you need, including access to the VIP group. There you go. So there's another option for you if you watch this video and you're in Australia. Injector reseal kit, we'll call it. But understand, $550 includes VIP access. And this isn't your cheap way out that's going to solve your problem, really. So if you've done 160, 170, 180, 200,000 Ks, and you're going to do 20, 30, 40,000 Ks a year, you're wasting your time doing this. It's going to just waste $550. You're better off spending them more like about 3 grand, get the injectors and pops as well and just replace the injectors. This is just more of a, if you're a bit short on money and you're kind of like, you're not doing a lot of Ks, you only do 5, 10, maybe 15 a year. It's only done, like I said, the 100,000 mark, something like that. 120, 130, definitely under 150, and you're not looking at doing a lot of kilometers in the coming years, then maybe it's an option for you. As long as a couple of things, if it's never been pulled apart before, maybe you've owned it since new and you know that the pipes have never been off, it hasn't been to the Toyota dealer for that 20 or 80,000 K service, anything like that, where they pull the pipes off, bend them back, they don't clean anything and it contaminates the injectors. They're the vehicles that come in at 80,000 Ks, blowing smoke, making rattles and stuff like that, and we trace it back to find things like that have happened. Call it contamination. As long as you haven't had that, as long as you don't have it blowing smoke, as long as you don't have it with cold rattles that are abnormal, this sort of thing, if you consider it running very good, if we do the job, of course, you can leave it with us. It's going to be, it's going to be a couple of grand if we do it because you've got all those seals and gaskets plus the labor, the cleaning and everything. Still a bit more cleaning because we've got to clean the injectors, clean the pipes, a lot more pre-cleaning and time and care taken to get it apart without contaminating those injectors. So anyway, options for in the Prada hospital, options for DIY, options to get in the VIP group a lot cheaper. If you like, you can just pay that $550, we'll call it a deposit, and then you can decide later whether you want to get the whole injector kit and just pay the balance, or whether you say, okay, let's just stick with the seal kit, I've already paid for it, can you please send that on the next Monday parts day. But today is Monday, in case you missed it, 7:30 a.m. text message, mate. Still, all these calls, people trying to ring and ringing after hours. I mean, what are people thinking when they pick up the phone to ring someone that's obviously busy, but they're not on standby waiting for 8 o'clock at night? I mean, 10 o'clock at night, weekends, Sundays, any time of the day. Like, what are you thinking, people? Give the people a break. I don't care if they say they're opening a business. Try and avoid it on Sunday unless it's emergency. Saturdays, if you've got to go shopping, get it done in the morning so they can have the afternoon off or have an easy day at least. In case you missed it, here at the Prado Hospital, we talk about we only operate during school hours on school days. So basically, don't bother contacting us any other time, and the preferred times to contact us are early in the week and in the morning. So afternoon's pretty much turning into a no-no. All right, you want to know the date of the video? There you go. Pretty close. Next day. It's the next day. Today's the 22nd, isn't it? There you go. 22nd, fresh video. How about this? I'll put this one out today. Fresh videos. Fresh, fresh, fresh. Now, the next video, somebody's asked about diffs and diff pinion seals and bearings and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about my recommendation on what you should do if you have any issues with your diff pinion seal leaking or diff problems. I'm going to give you some recommendations that are value for money like usual. So if you want to see that, subscribe, turn the bell on. This one I kept it short as I could, but I hope you get my drift. There's options. If you've got injectors that were before a vehicle from 2013, there's a good chance they are not full DLC, they're worn, they're not working correctly, regardless of all the readings, and I would be replacing them. Definitely all the 120s, anything that's 09, 10, 11. In 2012, some vehicles had full DLC, so if you've got really low Ks, you know it hasn't been opened up. Look, you probably don't even have to do the seats at that point. The injector seats at low kilometers start getting risky around the 150k mark, 140, 150, 160, because all those stop-start warm-up cycles. That's why they need to be reseated earlier. If you do high Ks, 40,000 Ks a year, there's a good chance that's why your injector seats will be okay for 300,000 Ks. But let's not forget, there's no guarantee, because Toyota's design, and they said to risk contamination and remove the pipes and the injectors and reseat them every 40,000 Ks when you do that valve clearance check. But as we say, the valve clearances are always usually okay. Don't go in and risk contamination unless you think that, it needs to be done and it's time to reseat the injectors. Yeah.